Hello, Mr. Talutha.
Did you tell Armand about the missing package?
Yes, he knows. They left a message on a machine or something because he just said he wrote me something and didn't tell me while I was going to not interrupt the stream. And I read it. I was like, yeah, I know.
They left you. They have your phone number? That's weird.
I don't know how he found out.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on the phone.
That's weird. All right. So UPS has your phone number, I guess. That's weird. All right.
While we're traveling, just to let you know, I'm going to choose the Fleet of Foot fighting move, which if I succeeded at a 2-speed or difficulty 2 speed-based running task, I can move a short distance and take an action.
Oh, there you go.
So that
what
basically
you're
eliminates
for.
the whole short and action. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I don't need that anymore. What am I looking for? I'm looking for this. All right. So it's about a day's journey back to the Gatherin Crystal. So Tug, you can take 1 day off the Doom counter. Down to what did you roll? You rolled a 7, right? Or an 8?
Well, 8.
8.
Yeah.
So you're down to 7.
Yep.
Can we also take a 10-hour rest?
Yeah, you would take a camp somewhere in there.
So if we don't need to take the rest, we can clear out the recovery rolls, right?
What do you mean? Oh yeah, you can.
So if I don't need to do a recovery roll, then I can clear them out, right?
You would clear them out anyways.
Okay.
After the overnight, right? It clears up.
Always forget that. Okay.
All right. So it's now morning. It's about 8 or 9 in the morning. And you guys are walking back to the Gatherin Crystal on your Garthox. I imagine you brought them. Whenever you walked out of the portal and kind of climbed out of the lake, 2 Garthox were just laying on the ground. 2 of them were kind of just softly bumping their heads for whatever reason. You have the vague feeling they were actually trying to get around each other but couldn't figure out how to do it.
No, horse, what are you doing? Stop.
That's Garthok with no name right there. He's doing that.
That's your Garthok.
And mine.
Okay, so your 2 Garthoks. Why isn't it working? Okay.
It's Garthok and Horus going at it.
Well, you make it back. You get down in the tunnel. You kind of, if you want to put they're kind of unsettled again as you go down there. So I guess if you want, do you all kind of tie up your Garthoks where they were last time? Okay. And as you start walking towards the crystal in the middle of this valley, there's just this big, huge purple crystal just sitting there in the middle, and you just hear a voice kind of echo through the canyon, and he just says, "Do you have it?"
Probably.
Maybe.
You never did tell us what it was. We got something.
We have something.
Do you have the artifact from the lake?
Sure.
Present it to me, he says.
Skylar.
I take out the jar with the plants in it.
Okay. As soon as you take it out, just the wind starts picking up again. Dust starts kind of flailing all around you. And you feel just kind of a sharp stab. I imagine you're holding it out like that. You just feel kind of a sharp stab at your hands. And when you kind of jolt, the jar is gone.
That was unnecessary.
Well,
I would have given it to you.
I guess he wasn't trying to hurt you. It was just the wind kind of picked up where the jar was and took it or whatever. And the voice just echoes through the canyon again, and he says, "You may break off 1 shard from the base of the crystal, and no more."
1 for each of us?
He doesn't say. He doesn't kind of respond.
I'm going to assume 1 of each of us. I go over quickly and break off a shard.
Me first. I gave him my jar.
I
I
have
just
the
imagine the
ability
two of them
quick,
running for the crystal.
so I'm gonna get ahead of her.
No!
Go, 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 go!
So I'm going
I'll
to use
follow
my
them.
action. I'm going to use my fleet of foot move that I just got.
Oh my god!
I'm going to run the short distance up there and break off a shard.
Okay, so you break off a shard of this thing, and you have it in your hand. It's not easy to break off, but with a little bit of tugging, it has like a decisive snap. And as you break it off, instead of leaving kind of a broken shard on the crystal, they both kind of form on their edges, kind of a closed off, self-healing crystal looking thing.
So it
So
looks like a repeat.
so you have one of these crystals. Whether
Yeah,
you
I
guys
want to grab one as well. And
Yeah,
Skylar, I
I'll-
think, and
I'll
Shiro are all
for it.
grabbing them.
I'm gonna wait and see if he
Oh, no.
gets mad.
I'm just going to grab.
first.
Don't wait.
Okay, so the
He already doesn't like me. I don't want to.
so three of you are grabbing crystals then.
I guess so.
Okay.
If nothing happens to them, I'll grab one too.
As soon as I kind of imagine Nearest and Shiro break off crystals at the same time, and before you even know it, this guy is standing directly behind both of you, and he says, "I said one shard!" And he kind of lifts up both of his hands. The shards kind of fly out of your hands back into the crystal, and you kind of get both of you need to make a speed defense roll. Let me bring up my screen here.
I am also quick.
Okay. So we have a 15 and a 16. Both of you get blown completely back. As you're blown back, you both take 10 points of might damage. And he says, "One crystal."
I asked you if you wanted one each or not. You
And
never
this is
specified.
why I waited.
And Tug doesn't take any damage because he was the first one to break it off.
And I give the crystal that I had to Skylar because she was smart enough to not actually do what the man
Thank
said
you.
to do.
And he kind of as soon as Shira makes his comment, "But you said just one crystal. You said one crystal," and he just says, "Assumptions get people killed in this world, Mr. Shiro," and then just disappears away.
Just so you know, Nearest is incapacitated now, or whatever the first rank of the damage was.
Are you okay? You're impaired.
Sorry, yes, impaired.
You ran out of might.
I only have 7.
Oh. All right.
I'm good.
All right. Well, you have now. Skylar has a crystal. What do y'all want to do? Remember, it takes about an hour. This is an artifact, so you guys get 2 XP each. You found a second artifact.
Sweet.
Today is going so well.
Yeah, right?
I mean, other than
So
10 points of
I'm just
damage.
imagining this.
Other than Tuck
When-
almost dying all this session, everything's going so well.
Nearest was thrown so hard against, I guess, the cliff of the canyon that he literally fell to the ground unconscious, and he looks like broken. Like he looks like a little sack of flesh.
I'm gonna go over with my trusty first aid kit and try and heal him.
Okay. How many points do you want to try to heal him for? He's unconscious, so he can't talk to you.
Right, of course.
I
should
say
be-
he looks pretty bad. Help him.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say that was probably a fairly intimidating throw there from the guy. I am intimidated. I'm sure that Nearest would have been intimidated.
It's funny because you should be saying formidable.
Formidable. I was trying to make it a little bit easy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I'll try and heal him for 6. That brings it down to
That
a
brings it
5.
down to a 5.
And if I were to apply effort, what would I take out for? Intellect, speed, what?
That would be an intellect task.
All right, so I take 2 off of there. So 4, right?
So you're going for a 12?
Well, I was doing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, you look in your first aid kit, and unfortunately, you can't find anything that really helps with like concussions or people that are knocked out. So you just kind of take a bandage and bandage his arm and hope for the best, and nothing happens. But now Nearest has a bandage on his arm. So he is knocked out on the floor. You have your crystal, Skylar. What would you guys like to do?
We gotta do something about Nearest.
Should we wait until he wakes
Well,
up?
while
Isn't
they're
he only
while they're
impaired?
doing that, can I take a recovery roll? I'll do my 1 action recovery roll to wake up
Yeah, sure.
and fix my impairedness.
Ooh, 6. That's a
Nice
good roll.
roll.
Awesome. So you go ahead and heal 6 points of damage in one of your tracks. And you just kind of snap awake. As soon as Skylar's bandaging your arm, you kind of wake up.
I look over and I'm like, oh, thanks, Skylar. And then like immediately
Sorry.
open my eyes wider. It's like, what's that crystal?
No.
Come on, let me
no.
look at it.
You can look at it, but this is what happens when you try and not listen to a big guy that can kill us easily.
I can tell you what it does. I know I can figure it out.
You don't get to keep it.
No, I don't want to keep it. I just want to know what it does.
All right, fine.
Okay, so you're gonna give it
Okay.
to
We'll
him.
figure it out together.
Okay. It does take about an hour to figure these things out. Let me bring this up here.
I'll take another recovery roll as we do this.
As will I.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this artifact you have is a level 8 artifact. It's very difficult to kind of figure out what it is. So with your knowledge in Numenera, that'd bring it down to a 7. With your asset of one of your books, that would bring it down to a 6, because this would definitely be in the books. And then with Skylar helping you, that's a +1.
I'm going to apply 2 points of effort from intellect.
Okay. Brings it down to a 4.
And I have the skill of assessing usage and ability and things like that. Can I apply that here as well as an asset? Like, figuring out devices.
Yeah. You want to use it as an asset? You can only use 2 assets to bring stuff down. Now, skills don't count on
Right.
that. That's a skill, right? You can use 2 assets
Yeah,
and
it
2
is.
skills.
Right. Good point. Yeah, so
Okay.
can I use that as...
So we'll bring that down to a
So-
3.
Okay.
$17. Awesome. Well, you look at this thing, and as you're holding it, you kind of go into a trance-like state, and you can just start to hear voices in your head. And what this, you kind of learn what the Gatheran crystal actually is. Not a lot of people know this because not a lot of people can survive the trial that this wizard man would send people on. But you kind of learn that this crystal has the knowledge of a lot of people. There's a lot of knowledge just kind of swirling around the consciousnesses of a lot of people. And with this artifact, the user can understand and use any one other artifact of equal or lesser value. So it's basically a free knowledge on any level 8 artifact or less, because the voices kind of tell you what this is. And that's a one-time use. So basically, if you ever get an artifact that's really high level and you fail the roll on it, you can basically call in the knowledge of the people stored in this crystal to figure out what it is.
Okay, so I'm going to explain this to Skylar. as I give it back to her. I'm like, if I'm ever not there with you and you need to figure out what a artifact does or something does, you can use this and it will tell you. You'll hear voices in your mind, so don't be scared of that. And they will tell you what it is that we found. So maybe back in the cave, we might be able to figure out what it is.
We gotta get past the defenses first.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so we are ready to move on, I suppose.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Where would you guys like to go? Remember, you're trying to get to Thamor. There's 2 towns you can kind of head towards. You can head towards Dynafell, or you can head towards Werfall, depending on if you want to head through Malavik or Draeolus. You've heard kind of just from people walking around, you kind of know that there's a ferry of sorts that goes along the Wur River that travels up through Beoth, Boreg, and that goes into Osper. If you guys like sailing on ferries.
Well, you know what? For Shiro, we should totally take the boat.
Let's go with the boat.
I am good with making our way to Werfall. Although we could theoretically go through Dynafell, but we may as well go straight north.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be faster.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, still like to stop by a shop.
Yeah, there's not a road that really connects Werfall and Dynafell. There's like a road there, and then there's like an offshoot road, kind of like that. Makes a nice little pyramid of sorts, I guess.
Okay, Werfall it is. Werfall. Okay. Wirefall?
Are there any villages along the way?
You have no idea?
Let's go.
Okay. Let's see. Now, I did something fancy with this map. It is to scale. So if you take your ruler and you hold Alt, you can actually drag actual distances.
That is awesome. Well done.
So 200 miles.
Pretty much. So we can. I don't know how.
It's gonna be a long trip.
Tuck plays Shu plays D&D, so I know he likes like the simulation aspects of things. So we can make it a little more realistic in that regard. That way, I'm not getting
It's a 5-day trip.
I like
because we travel 40 miles a day on our Garthok, so it's only 5 days.
Yep, and there's actually not a road in Githzerin. There's kind of like a road. You guys kind of go like that over to Mulin, because Githzerin's just you guys had to travel off road. So the nearest road is due north of you. Oh my gosh, where's the ruler? Nearest road is 40 miles due north of you. On your Garthoks, you can go about 24 miles a day off road. So it's going to take you a couple of days to get there. And then when you get on the path again, you travel quite a bit more quickly because you got to go through like forests and stuff like that. You got to go through who knows what. And
so if it takes us a couple of days, I'm going to take off a couple of days on my illness.
Yep, you easily make it there. And as you're kind of approaching the city, or not the city, this intersection of roads, you see there's a guy kind of laying at the intersection, just laying on the ground, visibly hurt, visibly damaged of some sort, and he's just laying face down in the middle of the road.
Just kind of walking around him.
I agree. Okay. Let's just go around.
Don't get involved. Whatever it is, don't get involved.
Is he unconscious or is he conscious?
He's groaning.
Nearest.
Well, he might have supply. I mean,
nearest. We're right outside of town.
There's no town. There's no town.
No, we're at a crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing as Tuck and Shiro are already, down the road, I'm just going to look at him. Do I notice anything of interest as I walk by? Like giving him a good, solid, stare and assessment of what he's carrying?
His clothes are pretty torn and ragged. You can find like 5 shins if you want to go through his pockets.
No, his clothing are torn and ragged. He's I'm assuming that means that they're of low quality, so screw him. We're moving on.
Okay. That tells me that this campaign needs to be more evil. Y'all aren't going to be heroes.
I thought that was pretty obvious with what we want
I
to do.
think we're
It's
more
funny.
realistic.
Well, it's funny because like anything I've ever watched of like Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop, everyone's always like, "Yeah, let's help the guy, let's do it." And this is, I think, the first group I've ever seen. Just leave him on the ground. We're gonna keep walking. Just ignore him.
We have our own business. We need to get back to
Yeah,
It is.
I'm not evil. I'm just focused on my main goal that I need to get to Ospar.
It makes.
I might be a little evil.
It just makes me laugh. Okay. Well, you guys keep on traveling then. You're at the crossroads now. You could easily make what was it? 40 miles a day now that you're mounted. So
Let's travel.
you kind of make it 40 miles. You can take another day off your death counter. And as you hit the next set of crossroads, you go across one crossroad and there's nothing really there. And you sleep one day. And as you wake up, you start going again. And about halfway through the day, you kind of see the other crossroad in the distance, and there's like fire. There's plumes of smoke kind of pillowing up. And from what you can see where you are, there seems to be a village there. And they're currently being attacked from what you can see. There's people visibly like running towards the city. People are fighting right here.
This is Ball. It's every man and woman and child for themselves, people.
I want to know what's going on.
And I don't. Let's keep going. I want to get to the boat.
There could
And a
be
shop.
valuables.
We can
Only
plunder
way I
later.
can tempt them. Like,
They're
what?
burning
No.
everything. Everything's on fire. There's nothing valuable here.
Can we see are we only hearing, or can we see a little bit?
You can see some fighting going on the edges of the little village there, the town.
Does it look to be like just locals fighting each other, or are they military?
It doesn't look military. You do see one guy kind of swinging a hammer around. He's in some pretty fancy like white armor from what you can see. He's glistening in the sunlight. You can't really see him very well because he's off in the distance, but he definitely looks pretty cool from what you can see.
I say that we
And
help
he's
these
fighting
poor,
against us?
defenseless people.
Oh, heart of gold.
But-
Heart of gold.
But this guy, is he against the peasants, or is he fighting for the peasants against an opposing force?
From the
Or
distance
can
you
we
are,
not
you
really
can't tell.
Do we have any ability to look further, like look closer from a distance? Like, does somebody have a cipher or binoculars?
Skylar puts her
really
hands to her
binoculars.
eyes and can't see any further than she already does.
Nearest is good with whatever everybody else wants to do. He doesn't really care one way or the other. He's like, we can go around, we can go forward. I know Tuck seems to be interested in shiny armor, dude,
I
and
think we should help
that
these
might be
people.
of value.
No,
Yes,
it
but
has
Tuck,
nothing to
which
do with
people?
the armor. It has nothing to do with armor.
Right, of course. But which people are we going to help? Do you want to help the person in the armor or the whoever's opposing them?
The
Or just
oppressed.
kill them all.
We help the oppressed.
We
We're not
help
killing
the
them
oppressed.
all, Shiro.
No, we're going to help the
It'll
oppressed.
be
I'm with
easy
Tuck.
that way.
Let's move forward carefully, and as we get closer, let's see if we can determine exactly what's going on from a distance. Like, with more information, we can decide what course of action we want to take.
Just out of character, how many days has it been?
What was it? 3, I think?
6.
It hasn't been 6
4.
days.
It's been 4 days.
4 days?
4
Yeah,
days?
4 days
Okay,
of rations.
so
Yeah, I'm out of
I'm
rations.
just gonna assume I'm already healed up.
Are you? Wait. So, are you including your cubes?
No.
Your gelatinous cubes? Yeah, you still
No,
have
I
those.
haven't had those yet, but
When you eat one of the gelatinous cubes in the morning, you notice yourself, you don't get hungry until the next morning.
good to know. All right, yeah, let's move in to further assess the situation.
Okay. Well, as the closer you get, you see just a lot of people fighting. Not really, I say a lot of people, a few people fighting. The guy with the hammer seems to be easily taking anyone it hits out. And he's very showy about it. You're not sure if he's like showy for show or if like that's just his fighting technique, but it looks really cool when you're looking at him.
So how far away are we?
I don't know, how close do you guys want to get?
I want to get to short range.
You want to
Wait.
Tug found a challenge.
short range is 50 feet. So you're now 50 feet away from the fighting.
What, Yuki?
Never mind.
Nice.
I was gonna say something, but
Wow,
it's
look at you
metagaming
with the
completely.
Okay. What are you rolling on?
That's my speed
Initiative.
roll. So that's my speed roll.
Initiative.
So now that I'm within short range, now
Okay.
I move into immediate range and I can do an action. So let's do this.
Okay. If everyone else
think
wants
he
to roll
wants to hit
their
the-
speed as well.
Shimmery guy, right?
Do all of you kind of follow him into this immediate
Yeah.
rage? I imagine Tug just
Not
kind of
convenient.
Follow
runs.
me.
He just runs ahead of all of you.
I'm staying at short range.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
So everyone,
Guys.
if everyone go ahead and
Yuki. It's one-time use. I waste it on show off.
Fancy armor.
So what?
Um,
so let me get a speed roll from both Skylar and Shiro. Awesome.
Could you take a moment and just re-explain the situation so that it's now that we're up close, we know what's going on? Because we know the guy in white is he fending off like a bunch of people, or is he attacking a bunch of people? Are there people allied with him? Like, what's the deal there exactly?
Yeah, from what you can see, there's about including the white guy, there's about 4 people fighting. Their backs are towards the town, so they're fighting outwards. And there's about 4 people kind of opposing them, fighting towards them. You can see a group of people are running away from the city on kind of one of the other sides. So there's like the wall you're facing, and you see in the distance, people are kind of running off towards the east.
Okay. Now,
So-
before that, are attacking the white armored group. What kind of gear are they wearing or using?
The people attacking the white armored group,
Yeah.
they're not wearing anything special. They've got some kind of like leathery vests and stuff like that. The white armored group, other than it's only one guy in white armor. Everyone else there is kind of fighting with like one of them has like a pitchfork. Another guy's trying to hit him with shovels. The guys fighting them are attacking with like swords and things like that.
The white armor guy's mine.
I'm pretty sure the white armor guy is a good guy in this case, Tuck.
No,
Yeah.
we're the good guys. No, we are the good guys. We're always the good guys.
Oh,
no,
we
I
are the
thought that-
rules.
Yeah, we're foreigners here.
I
We
thought that was an army like oppressing peasants because they're having to fight with pitchforks and stuff. I mean, why
Can I-
would an army of people with swords and full armor be attacking peasants with pitchforks and just
Can
leather
I-
armor?
Can I shout out to one of the people running, asking them what's going on?
But I think Tuck's
So
going to
there's
go
people
first anyway,
running.
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're right,
it's
sorry.
kinda-
That's all
it's
right. We've
Tuck's
started
turn.
combat.
It's
You're
already
right, I'm sorry.
we're committed.
So I guess at this point, Tuck, who do you want to attack?
We know exactly who he wants to attack.
Now there goes the moral dilemma in his head.
So to metagame this now,
Nope, you've Tuck is rant. No, there's no more discussion. I've let you all.
Talutha,
I've
the
let you
GM
all
just
talk.
threw a complete
Nope, I've
doubt
let you
in
all
my
talk
mind
too
now, all
much.
of a-
You see what I've told you. The white armor guy is fighting with the pitchfork people, and there's people with leather armor and swords fighting them.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought that. Okay. I thought that the pitchfork people were fighting all the. Okay. Tuck is so confused.
The white armor guy. Here, let me draw. I can draw
The
this.
white armor guy is fighting with farmers against probably bandits.
He's fighting with the peasants.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Don't-
So I thought that he was fighting
Well, what you assume are
against
peasants.
them.
Yeah, don't put words into our mouths. It could very well be that the guy in white has driven everybody out of the village and is now in turn fighting off the defense force for that village. We don't know exactly. So, it's really up to whichever target Tuck attacks is the target I'm going to go
Quit
against. So,
confusing me, nearest.
That butt is actually a W for white.
But you can draw circles for people.
Well, I like making those dashes because you can draw another dash to signify they're dead. To make it an X.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
the
this
guys-
is kind of what you see now. I don't know who that is.
looks like the. Never mind.
There's a guy standing in the butt now.
no, that's the guy in white. So we understand what is.
Okay, so is the town right there? Is that what the village
Yep,
is?
that's where the town is.
Okay,
And
these guys.
It's a bit bigger than this. The people running out the west in this direction, they're gone now. Oh, my mouse is stuck.
And we're down here, right?
You'd be down here. Yeah, somewhere around there.
So we're behind the. Okay, I gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, I run up to the first yellow slashy mark that I see, and that's the one that I attack.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll your might. Now you're in short distance. You're using your fleet of foot to
Using my
get
fleet
into
of foot
immediate.
to get to immediate, yeah,
Okay.
and an action. So, so as I'm running up, I'm obviously unsheathing my great sword and just rage, just basically come down on somebody. I'm assuming that these guys are facing away from us. So, could I get like help on the difficulty on that?
Yep, definitely.
There. And I'm going to apply an. I haven't done this much, actually, at all. But I'm going to do the. Where is it? I have a thrust ability, so I can use one might, and that'll do something. I can't remember what it does.
It'll do
That's fine.
something, but I want to
Oh,
do it.
It adds one more damage. That's what it does.
Okay. 15, awesome. Well, you swing your great sword at this guy, and that great sword's a medium weapon, right?
It's a great weapon. It's a large or
a
whatever.
heavy weapon. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're skilled in heavy weapons, correct?
I'm skilled in all weapons.
And all weapons. Awesome. Well, you swing, and that would do 7 points of damage since you're using thrust. And you kind of swing at this guy, and you just you slash him across the back, and he just screams out in pain. You can see blood now just draining out of his back, but he's still up and rocking and rolling.
What? Okay. I gotta get back to the map. So who's with me? Got
We all are.
anybody? Okay.
Well-
I'll go to Skylar. Looks like she's next to me, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know who drew that.
I'm just.
I'm
I
not.
see like
I'm
an
not
S
like in.
and
I don't see a T on there.
oh,
I don't know who drew that stuff.
I drew my S where I was.
Okay. So you'd be in short distance as well. Tuck would have moved up to immediate.
okay, here. There you go.
He's a green line.
I'm
Green
a big
tea.
green tea.
I suppose I'll attack the guy that Tuck attacked.
Okay, using your crossbow.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and roll for your might there. 13, awesome. As soon as you see Tuck slash at this guy, your crossbow bolt is already midway through the air. So Tuck, you slash this guy at the same time as a crossbow just slices through his head and lodges itself in there. And that guy falls to the ground dead, obviously. So who would you like to go next?
Nearest.
Nearest, you're up. And you feel
Okay, I'm going to use-
obviously days ago you felt your reconnection to the nanosphere, datasphere.
Oh, I'm going to totally flex my power then. They didn't take any damage or subtract any damage for armor, did they? Even though they're wearing leather armor? It doesn't matter. I'm still going to use physical onslaught.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm going to apply 2 points of effort to the damage.
Okay, so that'll do 7 damage. Go ahead.
2 points of effort to the damage.
I gotcha. Awesome.
Plus whatever all that damage is.
Do you want to do +3 damage or a minor effect?
Plus 3 damage.
Okay.
All damage.
Well, you just completely obliterate this guy. He just kind of explodes. As you are now obviously getting used to, as you seem to like making people explode.
It's the 4th one.
Apparently you're keeping count of how many people you explode.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a big thing, right? You explode people into little mist, gore, and bits and pieces and blood.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Yuki, you're up.
Confused as to why they didn't ride their Garfox into battle, I take horse and ride up to the nearest guy with my strong glass blade and just aim for his neck.
Okay, that'll give you an advantage in the situation since you're on your Garthok. It'll also give you another advantage since you're behind them. So go ahead and roll. Do you want to apply any effort to increase damage or anything?
No.
Okay, so that's a medium weapon for 4 damage.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wait, with Pierce, because it's pointy.
Okay, so Pierce is 1 damage, so it'll be 5.
Yes. Oh.
Awesome. Well, you swing at these guys. One guy gets hit in the head. Same time, all this stuff is happening at the same time. You swing your sword at this other guy, and you just slice him across the back as well, from shoulder to shoulder, and he takes 5 points of damage. And he screams. You see the blood kind of just dripping down his back right there. And that brings it over to the enemies this turn, and the two guys kind of look at each other. They obviously see that they're outmatched now that you guys have kind of come into the picture, and they just start booking it the same direction those other guys kind of ran to, off towards the west. They're they're at they're at a long distance.
I love the look of Saul. She's like, "What? No! Oh, did we just screw up?" Anyway,
To the
continue on.
west.
Sorry. So they're long distance away from us.
They're in long distance, and the other people that were kind of fighting them, when they took off, they took their turns to kind of turn around and go back into town. One of them.
I'll sheath my great sword and follow the guy in the white armor and try to.
It's not your turn.
Get his attention. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were okay. Sorry.
Because of that, it's Shiro's turn.
Sorry. I thought we were in income. Okay, my bad.
I like to jump down from horse, pat him on the head, saying, "Good job, boy." Grab a piece of cloth from one of the dead people that's there and clean off my blade.
Okay. Do any of you make any action? I guess I should ask this. Do any of you make any action towards the people running away, or do you just kind of let them go? Just let them go?
Unless Saul wants to take a shot at the injured one. But
I mean, one of them's bleeding to death right now, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll approach to where Shiro and Tuck are.
Then combat is over.
Thank you.
Now that combat's kind of over, you all get kind of a look more into town. The people that were fighting, they kind of gave you a nod as a thank you for helping them out. But you can tell they kind of have bigger things on their mind as they turn around and move back into town to try to see, assess the situation. So that's where they went. You can tell they were appreciative, but they have issues.
Like a fire.
Some you don't see any fire, but there's still smoke billowing. Maybe a fire was put out.
So I follow behind the guy in the white armor and kind of say, "Hey."
I'm going to stay with Tuck.
Yeah, I want to know
I'm
what's
gonna
going
loot
on.
the bodies.
Okay, well, there's only one body because one exploded.
Before he goes, I'm gonna yell at Nearest, "Stop blowing up the people."
All right, so you find this dagger in their hand. This dagger actually looks like a pretty fancy dagger. It has a crest of some kind that you've never seen before on it. And he doesn't really have any money in his pockets or anything. He pretty much has the dagger. And the leather armor's kind of useless because Tuck slashed it and it's kind of broken off. So yeah.
I'll take the dagger.
Okay.
It looks pretty.
Okay. You guys following the white armor guy into town. Where did I write that down? Right here. All right. You guys follow the white armor guy into town. He kind of stops in front of this building that has collapsed. It's a stone building that kind of caved in on itself. And he looks on the floor right in front of the building, and you kind of see an arm under the crushed, like out of the doorway. And it's clutching a sword. And he just kind of bends over and picks up the sword and is just looking at it.
Hey, cool sword. I'm Tuck, glaive and personal message carrier to King Hova the First of Thamor.
As Tuck says that, I'm completely behind him, like mimicking him, going, "I'm Tuck."
Okay.
Who might you be?
He doesn't seem amused at all by your chipper attitude, and he has kind of a gruff voice. He just says, "I am Bren Saramir," and he looks up at you, and he while he's holding the sword, and he's just like, I appreciate the help you and your men have given us. We were on our last legs trying to defend this village.
Sure.
Wait, what happened?
He says a group of bandits attacked, and they were much more well equipped than we expected. And he just kind of thinks for a second, and he's looking at the sword, and he just says, he just whispers to himself, "There's no way they could have been bandits."
I'm going to ask gently, whose sword was that? Like, in all seriousness, right? It's like a little bit of mournful tone to the voice. Whose sword was that?
Okay. He kind of has his hammer like strapped to his back somehow, and he takes the sword and sheathes it in his sheath that he has, and he says, "It was my first officers," and he starts walking off in the distance.
Wait, come back. What army are you with? What kingdom do you claim?
He says, "This is my kingdom. I claim this land. It is my father's, and it is mine." And as he says this, he's walking with deliberate pace. Every now and then, he kind of helps like someone on the ground up. He kind of cleans some stuff up, helps people move things all this time while y'all are following. I don't know if you're assisting him as he's doing this stuff or if there's just a group of 4 people kind of hovering over him while he's...
Totally assisting.
Yes,
Assisting.
absolutely.
I'm admiring
Just
my
a quick
dagger.
question.
Okay.
Do any of us recognize the name Soromir? I'm asking more for Tuck's benefit, actually. because he might know something about this kingdom. He said he did before. Personally, my character wouldn't, but do any of us do?
Tuck, you're pretty interested in like ancestries and like kings and stuff like that. You don't recognize the name Saramir, but you do know that this Escobar is under the rule of someone named Tekalaban.
To Caliban. Okay.
And I can type
So
these names in.
Yeah, if you don't mind. So I ask him, so this to Caliban guy, I understand he took your kingdom away from your family, right?
How do you know that?
It's RP, man. Come on,
Are
role
you,
playing it.
are you just
pulling this?
are you just assuming
No.
that?
No, actually, I'm just kind of putting two and two together
Oh, okay.
based off. He said that it was his father's kingdom and it's his kingdom, but now this other guy named Tekalaban is there. So I just kind of figuring that he must have taken the kingdom away from his family.
Yeah. Yeah, that fits with your character.
Tuck put all this together in his head, guys.
Well, you're not supposed to be dumb. We're all kind of assuming you're dumb. You've got the tongue tied. You're actually pretty smart, I think.
Yeah.
What was your question again? I'm sitting here about to
The
respond.
game master.
Well, no, we went through all this, and then I'm about to respond. I'm like, wait a minute, what exactly did he ask? He doesn't know
asked
either,
if-
so that's not just on me.
I guess I can't
He
remember.
asked if Tekalaban
And took
the
Oh, okay.
away from his father, from his family.
Yeah. He as soon as you say that, he's like, of course Tekalaban took this land from my father. Everyone knows that.
Do you know King Hova of Thamor?
He's still walking around doing his stuff, and when you say Holva, he just says, Holva's a fool. You all are brave people to claim you're from Thamor.
It's just him.
We are determined to turn this around, to turn that around, and we believe Thamor can become a truly great kingdom again, and yeah,
Okay.
I'm sure that we could become like allies.
As soon as you say Thamor can become a great kingdom again, he kind of stops what he's doing. He's like, Thamor was never a great kingdom. Are you sure you're from there? And then he keeps going to what he's doing, and he goes, he's kind of chuckling to himself now, and he says, how do you plan on doing that anyways? Dethroning Holva? That's the only way I see it happening.
I look left and right, kind of not like avoiding that question.
No. Not really.
While Tuck is talking to him, I want to check out the town or the village as we're walking through it. Like, how many other soldiers of his do we see around scattered? Do I notice anything, like how much damage was done, how many dead bodies? Just an overall view of what the situation is as I continue to help him with his wounded.
You see no soldiers of his that you can determine. It just seems everywhere you look, it just seems to be regular village folk, peasants and stuff. You don't really see any dead peasants at all. You just see a bunch of like caved in buildings. Some buildings, some wooden buildings may have been on fire, but they're not anymore. It seems like this group of people did some pretty major damage, but no one appears to be dead.
Okay. Well, I asked him as we're going along, and they finished talking about Thamor a little bit, kind of intrude on Tuck's territory, but I go, how did this start?
He just asks you, how did what start? This attack?
This attack, yeah.
How
Like,
else
were you
does
ambushed?
how else does any attack start? We were minding our business, and then there were bandits and raiders on our doorstep.
Except for you don't think they were really bandits, do you?
Are you still do you still have the dagger in your hand? You're kind of eyeing it,
Well, Shiro does.
Shiro.
Yes.
Okay. Um, he kind of grabs your hand that's holding the dagger, and he puts it in front of Nearest's face, and he says, "This is a single signal. This is the crest of Caliban. No, I don't think these were raiders." And he kind of gives Shiro your hand back.
Do you have an army, dear sir?
Uh, he he looks very sad when you ask that question. He says, "I have a few rebels that are willing to fight at my side, but any major hope of getting a revolution started hasn't happened yet. My
Then
brother,
you need assistance.
he says my brother is still in Ansuin trying to get assistance from Glavis."
Not gonna happen. Um, that king's a real ass hour, and but I don't want to speak for the rest of my companions, but we could possibly help you with your endeavor to retake this great kingdom of yours.
He kind of chuckles and he just says, "The four of you against the military fight of this land," as I forget the name of it, Ichabod, Ico something, Escobal. You're looking at the map behind you.
Were there
Well,
more
and-
than just those 4 bandits? Because it seems like a lot of damage for 4 men to do.
He says there were a lot more than the 4 bandits, and as soon as they did their damage, they ran.
Were they after someone?
He says no. I'm pretty sure that Norin attacked this village just to show. He must have gotten word that I was here, trying to rally support, and this was just his show. I don't think he'd want. He just keeps talking. He says, "I don't think he'd want to officially say he attacked this village, so this might have been his poorly guised threat to any other city." And then, with all of you kind of just standing there, he says, "If you really want to help me, then
We do.
He says, "Then help me find proof that these weren't mere bandits."
When the
Did that
When the
dagger,
dagger?
not be enough?
Anyone can forge any crest and meld it onto a dagger.
I say we track down the other ones that escaped or ran away and see if we can find out where they go to and if they report back to that guy, Caliban, they will know. And then maybe we can take out the false king right there where he lives. Or like a mile away. Or something.
A mile away. Okay. Well, what does the rest of the party think?
I'm just watching for Saramir's reaction.
Okay. He kind of scoffs at your idea. He's like, he just says, Caliban is going to be well protected. He never leaves the city. He just says, "Do me a favor. Track down the bandits that attacked us and bring me back one of them."
And in return for this favor, what can we expect?
He says, "Well, one day, if I ever have my kingdom again, maybe you can expect an ally. The Steadfast is falling apart at the seams as all these nations start to go to war. And you might need allies, especially if you, and he starts chuckling, especially if you plan on dethroning Hova.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Never said the word dethroning. No, 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 no. That did not come from us at all.
All right,
I'd like to
Tuck.
whisper,
But
maybe a
an
few other
ally,
kings as
absolutely.
well.
All right. What time of day is it right now?
It's still pretty early in the morning, probably about midday. I say early in the morning, it's about midday. Pretty early in the morning, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Do you have word as to where their camp is?
They headed west. They followed the rest of the people.
He just says, I would chase the cowards.
All right.
Are there supplies in this village in terms of food that we can take with us so we can survive the trip? Because this is going out of our way.
Mm-hmm.
That's not much to ask for.
Yeah, he says, he kind of points towards a market and says if there's anything left, it would probably be in that market. And then he says, and forgive me, but I seem to have forgotten all of your names already.
We never were formally introduced.
He
I am nearest Kazian, and of course that was Tuck, who introduced
Right.
himself.
Yep.
This is Shiro and Skylar.
Dang it, you didn't let me do my introduction, nearest.
You already said it to him.
You already said it.
He forgot.
All right. Oh, and of course, allow me to introduce Tuck. Tuck?
I am Tuck, glaive and personal message carrier to King Hova the First of Thamor. Thank you, nearest. Now, was that so difficult?
He holds his hand out to you, Tuck, and he says, well, I am Bren Saramir, glaive as well. Hopefully to the future of Iskabal.
That's okay, sir. We will get the name of the kingdom correct one of these days.
Perhaps when I take it over, I will name it Iskaban. Or
Seems to be
when I
much
take it
easier to
back.
pronounce than Iskabal.
Mhm.
Yes.
I rather like the name or the kingdom Soramir.
I would never do anything as egregious as that. Yeah. All right. So, do you guys want to go to the store?
Yes.
Yeah,
please.
let's go to the market. I'd also like to swing
I
back
need
around to
bolts.
the tavern or whatever where he found that sword from, and rummage a little bit when we're out of sight from in the rubble and see if his first sergeant guy had any armor or anything else that may still be under rock.
Okay. Go ahead and roll because the entire building collapsed on this guy. So roll a might check of 7. See if you can move the rocks. And if you can do that, I'll let you have like something.
He's like, nah, I can't.
I'm just trying to think, is there anything I could use as an asset for this? Because there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need a 21. I just need one asset to... Oh, I have an asset. Hey, Tuck. Could you help me move some of these rocks for a moment?
Yeah.
You want to go to the market?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's go.
Can I use-
We'll let them deal with
Can I
that.
use Tuck as an asset?
No, he would assist you.
I would actually have to assist. Yeah.
So that'd be a +1 to the roll.
So I need straight up 20.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Why not? Kind of futile, but hey, why not?
Okay.
You never know. That was close.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Well, both of you kind of try to pick up these big rocks. But as soon as you start rummaging through it, Bren comes over and he says, "Leave that alone, please."
Of course, we were just trying to find the body to assist in your burial or whatever death rites you have here.
He kind
Lies
of,
and trickery, my friend.
yeah, he kind of scoffs and doesn't believe you and just says, "Just please leave it alone. We'll take care of that."
roll for trickery on that one to see if you will believe me? I'm very sincere about it.
Yeah, sure. He's a pretty high level though, so good luck.
All right, I'm going to expend. Well, I am trained at it, so yeah.
Were you gonna do any effort as well?
No, I decided against it. I was just like, no, it's not worth it that much. He didn't believe me anyway, so why not?
Not happening. Okay, so same outcome.
Right, no worries.
He kind of scoffs and doesn't believe you and says the same thing.
We'll go to the market.
There was no time rewinding. Okay. The market doesn't have a lot of stuff. But whenever you mention that you're going after the bandits, for Bren's favor, they kind of just open their doors to whatever they have left. So if you want, you guys can have like probably about 5 days worth of rations between all of you. And
so one ration each.
Yeah,
1 day's worth of ration each.
And like water and stuff. They don't have a lot. The building was kind of, this was one of the buildings that was burning.
Are there any like smiths anywhere that could have like crossbow bolts or something?
I was looking for armor, perhaps.
This is just a general store, and the guy tells you that they never were really big enough to require the need of a blacksmith. So they don't really have a smith in the area or any armor. If you're really low on bolts, I can say you scrounge up like 10 bolts, kind of just laying on the ground everywhere.
Skylar, you're out of rations, right?
Well, with the one I have a day.
Take mine. So that'll be at least 2 for you.
Thank you.
I'd like to, because long ago when we were attacked by those bandits at the camp, I had taken one of the enemy's packs. I'd like to give it to the market keeper.
Oh, you're just gonna give it to her?
Yep.
Him? To it? The transgendered market keep? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And tell them, just use whatever you can to help with the village.
Okay, is there anything in the pack?
I think there was like weapons and just clothing. I don't think there was anything really fancy.
Okay. Look at this guy. This guy's doing something nice. And she...
Future army here, okay?
She looks at it and opens the pack and sees the weapons and clothing and stuff, and she says, "This is much finer weapons than we had before. Thank you very much. We'll definitely put this to use. So I'll let Bren know that you helped us out. Thank you. What was your name?"
Shiro.
Thank you, Shiro. And she kind of bows down to you.
No need to bow down, please. And we got one ration each, right? You said?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, let's make our way out of town, heading west.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to do the break first?
Did you want...
Yeah.
I was going to say, did you want to do the break hour time?
That was actually what I was going to say too. Thanks, guys, for jumping the gun.
You are welcome.
Let's go and take a 5-minute break, and then we'll meet back for, I guess, the final hour of Numenera.